part one. Let's dive in and see what America has to say about reparations.
America, Argentina, and Israel voted against reconciling the evils of slavery. Vast majority of other countries voted that slavery is the worst crime against humanity. Here it is.
Assembly will now take a decision on draft resolution A/80/L48 entitled Declaration of the Trafficking of Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as a gravest crime against humanity.
Will all delegations confirm that the votes are accurately reflected on the screen? Please lock the machine.
The result of the vote is as follows. In favor, 123. Against, 3. Abstentions, 52. Therefore, draft resolution A/80/L48 is adopted.
This is at the United Nations. 123 nations affirm enslaved Africans and the slave trade, as they historically would call it, worst crime against humanity. I want to provide some context because the word enslaved does not provide the proper context for why it is the worst crime against humanity. Not only do you have the legal right, according to the affixed government of the time, to own another human being, you also have the legal right to sexually violate them and murder them, which also means that the word enslaved should also remind you of sex trafficking, human trafficking, and murder, because all of that was allowed. Now, there's 3 votes against it, and 52 nations abstained. Basically, the colonizers. All right. So they all just say,
America ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed, America.
I'm going to sit this one out. Just the world stage. Why provide leadership here? Here's an explanation of why the U.S. said they voted no. Here it is.
We regret that the United States must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security. It was not founded to advance narrow, specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates. We do not accept this resolution's assertion that historical facts from the 15th through 19th century constitute violations of jus cogens, as the term is understood in contemporary international law. The United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. Also, there are some fake news articles suggesting that the sponsors of this resolution called into question President Trump's support of the Black community. We reject any such suggestions. Indeed, President Trump has done more for Black Americans than any other president and enjoyed historic support from the Black community in the 2024 election. He is working tirelessly to deliver for them and make our country greater than ever.
I mean, talk about lying on the world stage.
Let me guess, the Black community who they were recently speaking about are these Black Caucus members that have been speaking for the Black community. Let me tell you something. They don't speak for us. Let me tell you that right now. Let's see what they have to say.
afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus for the 119th session of Congress and proud representative of New York's 9th Congressional District, located in Brooklyn, New York. We are joined here today by Maya Wiley of the Leadership Conference, Mark Marial of the National Urban League, Derek Johnson of the NAACP, Reverend Siobhan Arline Bradley of the National Council of Negro Women, Melanie Campbell of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation, and Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant of the National Pan-Hellenic Council of Presidents. I want to thank all of the leadership for joining us today and for partnership with the Congressional. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus for the 119th session of Congress and proud representative of New York's 9th Congressional District, located in Brooklyn, New York. We are joined here today by Maya Wiley of the Leadership Conference, Mark Marial of the National Urban League, Derek Johnson of the NAACP, Reverend Siobhan Arline Bradley of the National Council of Negro Women, Melanie Campbell of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation, and Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant of the National Pan-Hellenic Council of Presidents. I want to thank all of the leadership for joining us today and for partnership with the Congressional Black Caucus. It is critical that we gather in this moment, given what we are up against. Across the country, our communities are voicing deep concerns about the threat posed by Donald Trump and his allies. Today, our democracy, economic opportunity, fundamental freedoms, and access to the ballot box are under attack. Over the past year, we have seen a concerted effort to roll back civil rights, undermine voting access, dismantle social programs, and concentrate power in the hands of the wealthy and well-connected at the expense of our communities. From weakening the Voting Rights Act and...
Wait. What are your communities? Where are your communities? That's all I want to know.
advancing voter suppression measures like the SAVE Act, to politicizing the courts and sowing fear and division through actions cause real and disproportionate harm to Black communities. Instead of working to lower the rising cost of living and create real pathways to economic security and advancement, the Trump administration has been working overtime to take our country in the wrong direction. Today, under Trump's historically unpopular leadership, Black unemployment has reached a staggering 8.3%, the highest since the height of the COVID pandemic, undoing progress made through intentional investment and inclusive economic growth. Attacks on the Affordable Care Act continue to threaten health care for millions in our communities, putting life-saving coverage and access to prescription medications at risk. And the ongoing assault on the diversity of our nation from the federal workforce and Black-led